Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Forged from Iron, and this is our series Hammertime of Our Lives. Today we are covering the season 1992-1993. Now, normally Duke is in the hot seat for this one. Unfortunately, he's got other things. He's got other things that he's got to deal with. So, apologies. I've stepped into the void at the 11th hour, but I am ably assisted by Mr. Andy Miles.
Mate, I feel like take that when Robbie
Jazz.
Williams. I feel like take that when Robbie Williams left, and then like become like 3 and then 4, and it's like a boy band splitting up, innit, without Duke.
Yeah, it's a little bit strange, and it's obviously come a little bit late in the day, but it is what it is. And if you're watching this one, big fella, then I hope you're feeling good soon. So yeah, what can you do? It is what it is. So how are we, gentlemen? Are we both in fine fettle?
Yeah, not too bad. We kind of reached Thursday. The week's gone fairly quick. Weather's still mixed. It's still, you don't know what to expect with the weather. It's 1 minute okay, then it's raining, it's cloudy. So, yeah, we're not too bad. Not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
Good.
Yeah. Pleased with the result.
Yeah, decent. Just looking at the live chat, we've got a few people in. Just give them a shout out. Happy Hammerette. How are you doing, young lady? Hope you're well. We've got Simon in the chat as well, and he's saying hello, Mr. Andy SharePoint Miles.
Yeah, I've had training all day, mate. I am SharePoint out, as they call it.
and he makes the point that I wasn't late. There you go. Just saying.
Well done, Gates. Well done, Gatesy.
And we've also got Scott in the house. How you doing, Scott? And Luke's here as well. And Mark, we're going to need you with your little nuggets of information, my friend, because as I say, I'm doing this at the 11th hour, so I've not got any prep. I wasn't expecting to present this one, so Duke would have had a lot of things he'd have had prepped. I've got nothing. I've just selected my 3 games. I've done the usual bits and pieces. So we're just going to try and make this work as best we can, guys, because we didn't want to let you down. So hope you appreciate that. So, gentlemen, so this season we're in here is season 92-93 that we're going to be discussing. Now, This is the season where it was the first season of the Premier League, but we weren't part of select group of clubs. So this was the race to get into that division. Yeah. Now, before the season started, there was a little matter of the European Championships, which an interesting little thing happened in this. And I don't know, you might not remember this so much, Milesy, because you're a little bit younger than Jazz and I. But the
only
team
a little
that won it, Denmark won this year, and they never even qualified for it. It was quite interesting. You probably remember this more, Jazz, that Yugoslavia qualified for the Euros in this particular year, but then civil war kicked off, and Denmark were the team that were runners-up in Yugoslavia's group. And as a result of Yugoslavia not being able to participate, Denmark were tournament at the 11th hour, and they ended up winning it.
Yeah, I think this was a sad time where
Incredible.
we can say nearly half of Europe was at war, really, one side of it, east side of it, and all these new countries came out of it. We all remember how Croatia came out of it, people like Bilic and Stimac. And this season I noticed that, obviously, last season we spoke about Schmeichel joining Man United, who he will captain Denmark for the trophy. Jensen at Arsenal was another player signed this season that we're going to talk about. He had a major role to play in that tournament. And obviously the biggest sort of point was it's like a big Super League, wasn't it, really, Sky, the first season? New funky kits, and even looks like West Ham had new shirt sponsors, if I'm not wrong, with Dagenham Motors.
Dagenham Motors.
So the good old window people were gone. And they were like only our first sponsors, I think, in our history. So quite new, really. But yeah, that's why it's a bit of a shame, because obviously I didn't take much interest because our club wasn't in there. But it's a shame. All I remember is Brian Dean has always go down in history as the first goal scorer in the Premier League, I think, for all the questions, I think, if I remember. And it's just things like that, really, you remember. And
and was showing him the first live goal on the TV on Scott.
Yes, on the Sunday match.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest he was playing for at the time, and he scored in a 1-0 win at the City Ground against Liverpool. So, and Mark's just come up with this little nugget of information that this was the season when the back pass rule was introduced. It prevented time wasting, and over time keepers became more proficient with their feet. Unless your name's Joe Hart, Lucas Fabianski, Nick Pope. Any that I've missed out?
Roberto.
Oh, yeah, but he wasn't proficient with his hands either. So let's not go there. But yeah, so should we get down to it, gentlemen? So we've obviously selected our 3 matches each, and so what's the first match of your 3-match selection for this season?
Who's going first?
Jazz.
Me? Jazz first.
I've selected the 6-goal thriller at Ashton Gate between Bristol City and West Ham, which was fairly early in the season. But before I begin that, I'm going to do my transfer round, as you know. Give you an idea which kind of players. Yeah. So going back to the Premiership, if you remember, I think, is this the season Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United had those funny tops going back 100 years with the laces at the top? Do you remember? It was a funny kit that it must have been 100 years.
They play in the Cup semi-final this year. I'm sure they did.
Yeah, I think so. Because obviously, they're not often in the same league, but certainly back then. And basically, following on with the transfers, this was the season also that we mustn't forget is when the kind of Yorkshire Abramovich took over Blackburn. So when you're looking at the transfer,
Jack Walker.
Yeah, when you're looking at the transfer funds of each club, Gatesy, has probably got about 1 or 2 million maximum, and Blackburn spend nearly 9. And they bring in Stuart Ripley from Blackburn, 1.8 million. Tim Sherwood from Norwich, 600,000. Alan Shearer cost 4 million. So 4 million for Alan Shearer. Graham Lasso was just under 1 million. And I think there's a good 3-4 others, but those were the main signings for them. Mark Bright, Sheffield Wednesday, again, big spenders, bringing in Mark Bright for $1.5 million, and Chris Waddle from Marseille for 1.3 million. Dean Holsworth went from Brentford to Wimbledon, 900,000. So back to Wimbledon. Sorry, Dean Holsworth. I was about to say Vinnie Jones next, but yeah, Vinnie Jones went back to Wimbledon from Chelsea for 747,000 there. Cantona, the last program we spoke about him sort of joining the league, and then only after a season he went to Manchester United for 1.6 million.
That is ridiculous. That is a bargain and a half, isn't it? 1.6 million.
That transfer.
That's a David Sullivan signing, isn't it? Like Wheelie Dealer, Del Boy signing, 1.6 million.
If I'm right, that transfer is always laced in mystery. Like, what the hell happened?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah. I think it was a conversation that happened over the phone between Alex Ferguson and Howard Wilkinson, and I can't remember who Fergie was trying to get. I don't think it was actually Cantona to begin with, but somehow or other the conversation got round to the availability of Cantona, and one thing led to another, and he was off to Old Trafford, and the rest, as they say, is history.
This is weird. And then the Andy Cole, Newcastle Man U, that's an equally weird one, which obviously we don't know what the hell went on with there, really. But Dean Dublin joined Manchester United from Cambridge for 1.3 million. Stan Collymore, who we spoke about last season, couldn't get into the Palace team, so Southampton took him for a measly 150k. Teddy Sheringham, who we talk about every single season, Spurs found out how good he was just after one season at Forest, and they spent a whopping 2.8 million. So they spent most of the money, or half the money, they got for Gaza, who went to Lazio for 6.6 million. So last season we talked about Platt going to Italy, and this season it's Gaza for similar money. So
6.6 million. So let's just think. So now, what do you reckon that is? 90 million now?
Well, 6.6 is Gaza, 4 million was Shearer, six something plat the season before.
Not
It's
being
got to
funny,
be
but
up.
Paul Gascoigne in his prime without the knee injury, Paul Gascoigne would have been worth 150, 200 easy.
It's not only
in my
that he
opinion.
was like Machiavelli Gatesy. He never looked after himself. Graham Taylor often
No.
talks about him having cakes in the dressing room with cans. You know, he just didn't give a crap. You know, and then you can't get the message through to these players until the latter end of their thing. Really, Martin Keown went from Everton to Arsenal for quite a lot of money, 2.7 million. Arsenal said goodbye to David Rocastle, controversially, to Leeds, 2 million. Dean Saunders
David
again.
Rocastle.
Yeah.
Dean Saunders, what a player he was.
I love
what
him.
A player.
Yeah. Dean Saunders, mate. He went to Villa from Liverpool, 2.5 million. And the funny one is Machiavelli to Villa, 3 transfer. Did he actually play any games for Villa? I can't remember.
I think he played a handful. I don't think he played many, Jazz. I don't think it went in double figures. Let's put it that way.
They probably couldn't understand him either. Their accent's
to be fair, the sort of like the Birmingham accent can be a little bit difficult to navigate.
Yeah, turn up at 12. Yeah, no, I turn up at after. Didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, the accent I struggle with is the Belfast one, Northern Ireland. That's the one I struggle with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the one I struggle with, I think. Yeah. But anyway, only 2 more to go. So Paul Stewart, Spurs to Liverpool, 2.4 million. And everyone's favourite injury-prone guy, Darren Anderton, Portsmouth to Spurs, 2.4 million. So when we talk about these millions, 1 or 2 million here and there, and we look at who we bought in, we paid £140,000 for Peter Butler from Southend.
Did you hear the story that Martin Allen tells about him, Jazz? About him turning up with his high-tech boots and everybody just basically thinking he was some sort of idiot. Because he turned up in a set of high-tech boots, but then they watched him in training and they went, actually, no, he can play.
What, the Yorkshire Terrier? But
yeah.
But what I do know is a story where they went to the races with the West Ham directors and he got ever so drunk that he got to a point on the coach, he started taking all his clothes off, and then I don't think he had much on. Then he fell asleep on. So this is like the Jolly Boys outing, only fools and horses. So when you're on the way home, so you stop halfway somewhere, and he fell asleep, and they dragged him around behind the sofa. Billy Bonds and Harry didn't know where he was.
They didn't kick a football at a policeman on the halfway house, did they?
Oh well.
Well, the coach exploded.
Well, don't forget when you listen to these stories from Bishop and Morley, there's always bits where they say we can't say anymore. There's a few things that happen, but we can't say anything. You know, we live on air or anything like that. So anyway, Matty Holmes, 45,000 from Bournemouth. Mark Robson, free transfer from Spurs. Steve Jones, and Speedy and people like that, just free transfers, mate. So you can tell that there's, and in terms of selling, we haven't got money coming in from anyone. I mean, people like Matthew Rush, loan transfer. I think Machiavelli's gone. Morley went to Norway. Bran, George Paris went to Birmingham. So literally the whole transfers after going through the Premiership stars, we're looking at 180 grand, chaps. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Not much, is it?
But what I would say, Gates, is Matty Holmes, Mark Robson, Peter Butler. Those are very, very good finds for next to nothing, really.
I know, Mr. Russ.
Holmes go to Blackburn for a good couple of million.
Yeah.
I mean, that was fantastic business when you look at it, because he came in, like you say, 45 grand from Bournemouth, and had a good time in a claret and blue shirt, in my opinion. And I don't know how much we sold him for, but I'm fairly sure it was in the millions.
It was a good profit. He was famous for his big ears, if you remember. He had a really bit like Gareth Bale, quite similar. But he didn't have the money to.
What, playing golf and a silly haircut?
No, he didn't have the money like Bale to take them back.
By the way, there was a question asked of you earlier, Jazz. I'm just going to wind back a little bit. It was Scott.
Good question. It's not rum. It's famous grouse whiskey. Famous grouse.
Ooh.
I had a choice of that or Jameson, and bloody hell, Jameson's quite expensive. I thought I'd leave it in the cabinet for guests. So Grouse is about the same price as Bacardi. You can pick one up for about £14.
This one here that Mark's pulled up, I actually was at that game. We lost 1-0.
I wanted to sign Rob Lee for ages and Gatesy. You know, when he was at Charlton, and then obviously Newcastle took him. I think we missed out on him and Draper and a few others, really, and people like that.
Was it Pardew that scored, Mark? Do you know, I thought it was Alex Dyer. I didn't think Pardew. I could be wrong, but I remember I was at that game and getting beat by the team that's sort of like your tenants was a little bit of a kick in the teeth, to say the least.
Yeah. What can you say anyway?
And of course, Rob Lee then went on later that season to Newcastle, and we'll talk about what happened during the season, but people with long memories know what happened.
But looking at the season, I can see that Miklosko played in every game apart from one. Breakers at right back pretty much the season. Dixie's back with a bang, and he often mentions that this is a season he wanted to prove a point to, because he felt there's a lot of people at West Ham at board level who wanted to get rid of him. And there were some people at the FA, they even wanted to ban him for long periods. So he wanted to come back and really kind of make his mark.
Was this after his major op? Was this his major one? This was his major one, yeah.
Actually, I'm not sure. Actually, you're right. You're right, because last season Bishop takes over the captaincy, doesn't he? You're right.
Yeah.
Because he did his name twice, didn't he?
Yeah, I was going to. Yeah.
Yes, I think there's one more injury to come. I think in one of the seasons.
About 97, he did the second one. And that was the one that essentially ended his career, really.
And this is the season Potsy's more or less made the centre-back position his own. He kind of misses one game, and he's alongside Alvin Martin for half the season, and Gailey takes over. Martin Allen is largely in the middle of midfield alongside Robson, who doesn't hardly miss a game, and Yorkshire Terrier Butler, he's in there for most of the season. Up front, we have Trevor Morley alongside Clive Allen. Then Jones joins, and then Speedy towards the end, really. And then Kevin Keane, the winger's position, is his own. So not too many injuries, looks like. It's a fairly settled team for the season.
Yeah.
And going back to my game, this game, Bristol City, I don't think we've had that many opportunities in the past to play Bristol City. This is one of the big cities where I can't remember any of them being in the top division. I believe Bristol City were in the top division, perhaps in the early 70s at some point. I mean, obviously before my time, but it's quite surprising how both of them don't really ever get into the Premiership, even up to now. So obviously Ashton Gate.
Quite incredible, isn't it, when you stop and think about it, Jazz? I mean, you think about the catchment area that a city like Bristol have, and I can't remember in my lifetime Bristol having a representation in the Premier or in the top flight. Not just the Premier League, but even going beyond
I think it was very early 70s. But like you know, every time we drive down to sort of Dorset or Somerset, we always go past that huge city, Bristol, famous university, bit of a rugby area as well, a little bit, if I'm not mistaken, and a big port, two big clubs. Some bit surprising. So this looks like a midweek game. I think it's 14,000 in the crowd.
Yeah. Did anyone go to the FA Cup game, Bristol City away?
No.
Do you remember when we had them when Sacco scored? Did anyone? That's the most recent.
Didn't we win 2-0 or 1-0, wasn't it?
1-0 when it Sacco scored.
Yeah.
Carroll done a cross with his right foot.
Did he injure himself?
No, I think he had a party afterwards because I think he missed the rest of the season, wasn't it? Pretty much.
Sounds about right.
Did you go to that? How did you get there? Did you drive? What did you do?
I went out the night before and I was hanging, so I was asleep for most of the journey. Someone drove me.
It's
very wise. Very wise.
Bit of a journey, anyway. So anyway,
it's a bit of a journey.
So this was our 7th game. So it's on the back of 2 wins. So we're on good form. So there's a couple of wins, couple of draws, couple of defeats really up to this game, bit of everything really. So we don't really know where the season's going. And suddenly we kind of carry that form. So this is on the back of 2 wins. And I don't know what minute the goal happens, but in the first half, Robson, what was his first name? Gary Robson? What was
Mark
his first?
Robson.
Mark Robson. There's so many Robsons. Pop Robson, Brian Robson. So
we like a Robson.
So Bobby Robson.
We like an Alan as well.
So Mark, Steve, Alan.
So
sorry.
So basically, what you notice looking back on some games in this season is a slick football that we're playing. It's really one touch. One thing I forgot to say, Gatesy, this is the arrival of Backpuss at West Ham. Harry Redknapp is here.
Yeah.
So
he got in trouble at this game.
So he turns up in his 2-3 limousines, whatever. Only joking. I mean, he didn't have much money then anyway, but he was planning ahead. So he turns up.
The dog owns a house at this time.
A very, very big house.
Well, he was going to evening classes to learn how to read and write as well. Good old Harry.
Allegedly.
So yeah, really slick football, largely driven by people like Robson and Keane. One slick, like typical West Ham players, really fast interchanging. So we're going to see that a lot of the goals that everyone will describe. We go 1-0 up with Mark Robson's first goal. Kevin Keane picks up the ball in the corner, cuts back, and Robson shoots. And the goalkeeper gets his hand to it, but the ball, unfortunately, is still travelling towards the net. So it kind of just goes in anyway. So he's very happy. He goes to 2-3 of his sort of colleagues, and you can tell how happy he is. Obviously, he came from Spurs, but sounds like a London boy in his interviews, a bit of a Cockney in there. So he kind of realised how big a club we were back then, and he's really happy. So we're off to a really good start. As you know, we are the big fish in this league, and I remember watching the games where everyone wants to beat you. That's the thing. West Ham are, if not the biggest, one or two biggest clubs in the league. So it's good to get 1-0 over them. Then we go into 2-0 lead, and Mr. Kevin Keane again is involved. So he used to take the corners back then, and very good ones. He took the corner. The goalkeeper absolutely misses it coming out, and Trevor Morley taps it in, really, just guides it into the net. And Trevor's another player. I've got such a lot of time for him, and such a big spot for him. I absolutely love the guy, very much underrated, a bit like Jeff Pike and other sort of players we've had in that mould. Hard-working, very clever guy, lives in Norway now, very close friends with Ian Bishop. And I think he does a lot of work on Norwegian football TV as well these days. And he did, before lockdown, he does like to come down now and again like Bishop and, mix with the fans and things like that, really. Nottingham boy. But the one thing I noticed, Gatesy, in his podcast was he was a team player. So he said scoring goals didn't bother him. He goes, I played with TC, complete opposite. But he goes, if I played like TC, I'd get really upset. Even if I've scored, he goes, no, I want to really hold it, play it off to someone else and just kind of do my thing, really. So 2-0 up. And then and this is all in the first half still. And then we're 3-0 up, all in the first half. Trevor Morley, nice interchange with Kevin Keane, who runs through and finds a bit of an old legend, Clive Allen, who joins his cousin, Martin Allen, after Paul Allen played for us. So he's the third Allen to play for us. So
yeah.
And one thing about Clive Allen, this finish, you got to see it. It's like a great volley that goes in the top right-hand corner. These players, Clive Allen, it was all about the finish.
He knew how to find the back of the net, didn't he?
Do you think he was? Do you think he was underappreciated, not just by the West Ham fans, people in general, like as a footballer, or?
Well, didn't he have a season, Jazz, in the 86-87 where he scored 49 goals in all competitions?
I was going to say that.
Stupid that.
It was 49 of 47. It was David Pleat's first season, and he invented this 4-5-1 system with Ozzy Ardiles, Hoddle, Waddle, all them lot behind Clive Allen. And unfortunately, I think they finished quite high in the league, perhaps top 4, so missed out on the league. And as we know, in that Great Cup final to Coventry, they lost 3-2, having sort of took the lead on a couple of occasions. So, yeah, David Pleat was another master like John Lyle, very, very clever manager. Clive Allen, 47, 49 goals, I think, on his own up front with Nico Klassen just behind, I think, the Belgium guy. So, yeah, he was really good. So we're 3-0 up, mate, and happy days. Second half, fans are happy. Getting near Bovril at home from Bristol. I don't know what they give you half-time Bristol, but there you go.
Probably some rum jazz.
No, I'd say some cider. Probably some cider.
Cider.
What's that? I can't remember that thingy one. In a really like dark can, like big tall dark cider can. I can't remember what it's called. It's like it sits there at the bottom. Do you know, like in the off license where it's even got like dust on it when no one buys it.
Jake's dad, Richard, would know. Jake's dad would know.
That's the only one I know. I don't really drink it, but Strongbow and one or two others.
I can't remember what it is now.
They all sponsor cricket, don't they, Cider? You see their names up there.
Yeah. No, cider gives me heartburn. I don't really drink it, to be honest.
Well, you got a lot of brands from Scandinavia, the fruity flavour ones. So some of the women like that in the summer. You know, all these funky strawberry and lime flavour, I think it is, and one or two others. A lot of sugar in it, but when it's really hot and you're dehydrated, it goes down quite nicely at the beginning. Just have one. Quite nice. So, second half, ladies and gentlemen, it's 3-1. Bristol has woken up. And Alvin Martin makes a mistake. He gives the ball away. As one of their strikers is approaching the penalty area, he kind of just takes him out, really, and it's a free kick. But the funny thing is, either we're not ready for the free kick or we're just talking amongst ourselves and not concentrating with a lot of the players with their backs towards who's going to take it. The guy just taps it into the goal. So that's 3-1, and it's Martin Scott, the number 3. He just shoots with a fairly, not really hard shot, just guides it in.
Do you think Ludo's English weren't that great and they were waiting for Ludo to tell him where to stand?
Ludo, yeah. Just a bit of a, not really.
Yeah, he was still getting to grips with the English.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ludo. So it's 3-1. And then, to make it a bit more comfortable, it's 4-1. So Clive Allen, he picks up the ball in our half, goes near the penalty area and unselfishly slips it to Mike Small. So a couple of games they played together. His shot is saved, and then Clive Allen picks up the rebound. As he said, finishing is one thing, but being there at the right time, anticipating that's what it's all about. And I think they're probably born with it. I think, you know, people like TC and Andy Cole and Ian Wright. They're just
Jimmy Greaves.
Well, can't remember him, but yeah, I can imagine he's held in.
Well, he's got the record for top flight goals, isn't he? So I mean, he knew how to finish.
And one of those players,
326, I think.
Yeah, and one of those players like Terry Venables, who I think we just mistaken him. I think he was kind of in that area or thereabouts, but. And a lot of the times when you used to pick a kid as a youngster, it used to be Spurs, Chelsea, and West Ham, I think, and then depends on what the parents said, I suppose, and the travel and things like that, really. That's the
there's a goal at Old Trafford.
Oh. Go on.
Manchester United 1, Liverpool 0.
Don't say Rashford.
Bruno Fernandes.
That's good news for us.
I got my fancy football thing
the other night.
Yeah, I got my fancy football. My 80-point lead at the top's been cut to 35. So people like Green was not playing, and Watkins got sent off, and then a couple of things like that, really. Not
Sorry to interrupt, Jazz. I do apologise.
That's all right. So yeah, we were mentioning Clive Allen. So yeah, I mean, not only good finisher, but good anticipation in the right time at the right place. Yeah. And then, ladies and gentlemen, it's it's 5-1. So, and it's Kevin Keane again who finds the incoming Trevor Morley, and he just shoots it into the goal, really. So. I'm surprised. I mean, I need to look. Well, how the hell have we got 3 strikers on the pitch? You got Clive Allen, you got Mike Small, you got Morley. So I'm gonna have to have a quick look if I can see what was going on there. Unless Clive went off at the end. No, but Clive and Trevor started again.
If you put that team sheet up, Gates, it should tell you if a sub happened.
Yeah, just wondering why we got 3 strikers up there, or did we just go for it? The only substitution was Mike Small came on for Mark Robson. There we go. That's what it was. Yeah. So comfortable 5-1 win, and don't forget, gentlemen, this made it our 3rd successive win on the spin. So that kind of kind of made it really good, really.
Yeah.
And I can't underestimate Tim Breaker. I absolutely love the guy as well. Great signing, and really solid. So you look at this team. There's solidness at the back with Dixon, Breaker, and Potsy and Martin, and you've got a lot of West Ham sort of flamboyant, skillful players in there as well, with Butler being a bit of the defensive guy in the middle and Martin Allen, and good experienced strikers up front. It's a really good mix.
Yeah, I like Butler.
Yeah,
He was a fighter, wasn't he? He was a really combative, old school, typical Yorkshireman. Typical Yorkshireman.
Well, we'll talk about the following.
Yeah,
he was, and he does well in the league. When we go up, talk about that later.
Yeah,
he holds his ground.
I like Butler.
Yeah, he's good.
Do you know what he's doing now?
Yes, I do. Yeah. He's a manager
of the Liberian national team,
and he lives in the same compound as George Ware.
Yeah,
roughly
mad,
that same. And George Ware's the leader, isn't he, of Liberia? He's the leader.
Yeah, he's like the president or prime minister or something, isn't he?
Yeah, and Butler's done it in some funny little third world countries like that. He's been in South America a lot, I believe. So a lot of the quite challenging roles, really. But he seems to enjoy it and lives in gated communities with a couple of bodyguards, gunmen around him. It's up to him. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's also managed Botswana. Would you believe? For 3 years.
That's what I was saying. He's kind of in that.
And I remember Russ had it on one of our questions. I think he managed like the South Korean army or China, or like it was like who hasn't he managed? And I thought it was that or the North South Korean Air Forces or whatever it was. And I think it was Thailand who he didn't manage. And it's like who would have bloody guessed that? But it's a good. Good mix.
I've got a little something for you, Jazz.
Oh, thank you, sir.
As you were reminiscing, that is the program from that particular match.
So, talking about programs, I've actually started to try to finish my program collection last week. So, I went a bit mad. I got a hold of this guy in Harrow, and he came around yesterday with 2 crates of sort of programs going back into the 90s, really. And he's a West Ham season ticket holder. Funny enough, and he sits apparently 9-10 rows ahead of me in the same area. So small world. So we're going to connect once things open up. And he's an away season ticket holder as well. So it's kind of a small world.
Yeah, definitely.
The one thing I did notice is I mentioned to him about the channels. I said, "Do you watch anything?" And he said, "No." He goes, and I mentioned some big channels, including ours. He said, "No." So we mustn't forget, I wonder how many people are out there, they just do not watch YouTube. And it's hard for me to understand that because I try to fight watching because there's so much on there, including our great channel here. So there are a lot of people out there, Gatesy, West Ham season ticket holders. They don't know who we are. They don't follow YouTube. They don't know any of the big channels that we can mention.
So you'd think like at the stadium as well, I know it's all flipping advertising, you'd think like the club would like go, oh, anyone got a YouTube channel? Like even Craig and Jake. No, like Jake, do you know what I mean? Like at the stadium on the thing.
You must be joking. They don't like us though.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mr. Peach is there. Mr. Toronto. Yeah, so I bought some really good ones, Gatesy. I got a hold of the original Anderlecht 76 one that was issued at Heysel.
Nice.
I got the away one when we were playing teams in Romania and, in their foreign language. I got hold of a couple of Charity Shields I didn't have, the Derby 175. I've got the 64 final original. I got that one.
He's been busy.
What I want to do is get every home from 70, every home program and if we've got to a final, I want the away as well. So I've got the Stoke 71 League Cup replay ones coming through today.
Yeah.
So I'll keep you guys posted, and perhaps we can do a program like you said. We need to do one on Championship Manager, like Duke said, and then we'll do one on programs. Hopefully, no one's ever covered it.
Jazz. What we said was because we started in like 85, 86, we could put like for example the FA Cup final, and like we're gonna do like a show like on stuff like that, like key moments, what happened in the past. So we're more than welcome to that. That'll be like just a dedicated show for that. And like you said, you can get people to have their say on that as well. That would be great for me because obviously I only see it on the telly or the YouTube, so to speak, to hear people's opinions and stuff on it. That's what makes it so good. So,
Well, it was a very good match selection, if I may say so, Jazz. Thank you for
Thank
that
you very
one.
much.
So
Thank
now
you.
we'll go to Milesy, your first match selection, my friend.
My first game is the 6-0 win against Sunderland at Upton Park. The main reason why I picked this game is because I love a goal fest really as well, and the football, like what Jazz said, the one touch football, the integration and stuff like that, and like every player wore their heart on their sleeve, like Jazz mentioned, so many people played so many games that season, and like it's unheard of now, really, is it? Like players to play that amount of games, so fair play to the lads, but. We get our first goal after 25 minutes. We have a corner on the left-hand side, and we do a short corner, quick one too, because the Sunderland man come out, and then the ball gets given to Mr. Kevin Keane, who receives the ball, takes a great first touch to get away from the defender, and literally he's just unleashed his shot with so much power, and it just bounced just in front of the keeper as well with power, and I think he was even surprised that he scored. The players who spring to mind was Martin Allen and Dixie. I think even Dixie was going like that and like patting him on top of the head, thinking, "What the hell are you doing there?" So no, I think everyone was surprised with that. And the one what surprised me the most was Martin Allen. He's not really known for his goals and shooting, but he just hit the shot from about 30 yards, and it was like a swerving shot, and it nearly went in, and it just hit the back post, unfortunately. But no, it was a very good start, really. And then Dix played a long diagonal ball up the field. Morley was tackling with the defenders, but then everyone missed it, and the ball come out to Keane. Keane then played the ball into the box. Poor mistake from the Sunderland defender. Just literally headed it into Mr. Morley, and he just slotted it home. Happy days, 2-0.
Off and running.
But like Jazz's game, we were 3-0 up after 38 minutes.
And did you notice how good the finishing is? That's what it is, isn't it? It's the finishing, the interchanging, the one-touch football. It's unbelievable.
But Jazz, the thing is now is what you notice now is. They just pass the ball into the net. Not like nowadays when they get flipping into the penalty spot. I need to hit this as hard as I can, and like Mikel Antonio does. No disrespect, I love the guy, but him shooting from a bit far out, he just goes for power. And I think the ball boys get the ump in the end, especially with no fans being there.
I mentioned earlier, just sort of like just to go off on a slight tangent. I mentioned Jimmy Greaves earlier, and you're saying about passing into the net. He made a career out of passing into the net. You watch his goals, honestly, and very rarely is he smashing it with his laces. He's more often than not, he's just, literally passing it into the net. And this is a guy, the greatest English goal scorer, bar none. So
I wonder how many caps Clive Allen has got for England, Gatesy. He just triggered something in my mind.
About 7.
Wow.
I think he only got about 7 or something like that. It wasn't many. Anyway, I'll find out. You carry on.
You carry on, mate.
No. So like I said, we went 3-0 up after 38 minutes. This guy was very, very, very weird. Bit of head tennis. Then Sunderland, you have it. West Ham have it. I was like, is there anything? Why are you showing me these highlights? But in the end, the ball gets played over the top. Martin Allen's through on goal and does a little cheeky chip over the goalkeeper. And I think that was his only goal that season. And he just went nuts, just run off and into the crowd. I think he was shocked that he even scored it, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, we were off and running, so to speak.
Martin Allen never scored a normal goal. His goals were all spectacular, most of them, if you remember.
Really? Is that what it was like?
Yeah. I love Martin Allen. Yeah. Long story, but I need to shut up now. Carry on. Sorry.
No, it's all right. We then have a free kick on the left-hand side, close to the corner flag. Robson with the free kick towards Dix, who got out-muscled by the Sunderland defender. And then the ball falls to Morley, I think. The commentator didn't say who it fell to. He headed the ball. The goalkeeper saved it. But Mr. Alvin Martin was there with the rebound to make it 4-0. Then we went 5-0 up with a typical Ludo goal kick, ball in the hand. How the hell? How fucking far did he kick that
I
ball?
told you.
It's ridiculous. And like
howitzer.
sometimes, can you imagine how far he would hit if he actually runs to the edge of the box? Sometimes he just kicks it from like the 6-yard box, and it's still
I think he could have conceivably scored a goal.
Yeah. The only real goalkeeper I can think to mind who can, well, I know you've got Edison, but like, do you know, he's Kasper Schmeichel. Kasper Schmeichel can kick it far. I've always liked him as a goal. Like, he's the sort of.
I like him. Yeah, I like him. Yeah.
It was, I'm just. We had the chance to sign him, didn't we? When Leicester went down into like League One or something, and I think it was a little bit. But I thought he would have been a great addition. But I'm going off on a red swing, so
we do that for a living here, mate.
I know. But the big hoof went up to Mr. Morley, who then headed the ball down to Keane, who then flicked the ball over the defender. Couple of step overs, left foot, back post cross. Mr. Robson, one touch, smashes it in, 5-0. And you mentioned Jazz about a free kick with a just take him out sort of situation. That's what Mr. Potts done in this game for a penalty. He just like, you're not going to score, so to speak, and literally just took him out from behind. The player who took it was Mr. Don Goodman. Was the penalty taker?
Yeah, Mr. Wolves and Mr. West Brom.
Yeah. So he took the penalty. He had big 8 stitches in the side of his head as well. So he had like sort of blood or claret all over his shirt. But obviously back in them days, can't really swap them, can you? So, but no, I think that must have.
Forward he was.
Yeah, no, definitely. And he stepped up, put it in the bottom right, but Ludo, being the size he is, managed to get down and parry the ball away. So there was a penalty save in this game. And then Mr. Robson got the 6th goal. No, sorry. Yeah, he did get the 6th goal. My apologies. Butler was heavily involved, chipped the ball over the box. Kevin Keane hit a great strike. Goalkeeper saved it. Robson, open goal. And he'd run into the corner flag where the fans were. And yeah, as I wrote in here, game, set, match to the Hammers.
Brilliant. Yeah, lots of goals. Robson actually got 9 league goals in that season. That's amazing. 9 from midfield.
It's mad, isn't it?
I don't know if you mentioned the attendance in this game, Miles. If you look at it, you're going to be shocked.
Go on. Yeah. Is it like 8,000?
No, it was 10,326. I put it in the chat earlier.
Wow.
There.
Yeah.
That was our lowest attendance in the league that season. I actually went to a match in that season. I'll just say this isn't one of the games I've selected. And that's obviously the program, by the way. Of course it is. I went to a game, believe it or not. This shows you how mad I can be at times. I went to a midweek game. I remember it was chucking down with rain. Does anybody remember the Anglo-Italian Cup?
I do now. Looking at this season, it comes back to me the memories. Yeah.
I was there for the home game against Reggiana. We won 2-0. Clive Allen got 2 goals. And just
Red Stripe or Bud?
Hey, what?
What shall I go for?
For the Red Stripe. Go for the Red Stripe. And there was 6,872 there. I was one.
Actually, that's one of the programs the guy delivered to me. I got the whole season, but there's 3 missing. One of them is the bloody Sunderland game, and 1 or 2 others.
No,
but you I kind of knew it. They're nearly full sets apart from 2-3 missing. But the Sunderland one was one of them. But the Reggiana one, that's part of the pack. I was looking at that earlier.
I was at that game. So, okay, well, that was a good choice, Milesy. 6 goals, damn entertaining. I've got to say.
Yeah, so... I do promise. Miles Monson's going to come out one day, but it'll be more when the seasons go on, because I can be more with these ones. It's a bit hard to work out who's what. At least with the ones what I'll select, you've got the names on the back, so you can sort of work out who they are.
That's cheating. That's cheating.
You got
to do it the hard way. Well, okay, so we'll go on to my first one now. So I'll just get the match card up there and just go full screen with it. So I've gone for the home match against Portsmouth. Now, at the time that this game was played, it wasn't really seen as that critical to our season. But come the end of the season, you realise that this result was actually key to us getting promoted, because we were neck and neck with Portsmouth at the end of the season. In actual fact, we finished on the same amount of points, but we scored, I believe it was one more goal than them, and that was how we went up, because in the Division 1 at that time, it was points that was the first point, the first differentiator. And then if you had two teams locked on the same amount of points, it wasn't goal different that decided who would go up. It was goals scored. And we ended up going up because we scored one goal more than Portsmouth.
Yeah, I can see.
So
close,
this
Gatesy.
game, when you actually sort of track it back, this game became absolutely critical to us going up, because we beat them 2-0. So there you go. But I mean, just looking at the names there, I mean, we had a lineup of Miklosko, Potts, Breaker, Dix, Colin Foster. Now, he didn't play much this season. He came in because Alvin Martin, I think it was a calf strain he had.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
And then we had Martin Allen, Peter Butler, Kevin Keane, Mark Robertson, Clive Allen, Trevor Morley. We then had substitutes that were involved during the match. Matty Holmes came on for Clive Allen, and George Paris came on for Mark Robson. And yes, as I say, at the time this game took place, we didn't realise how critical it was. But at the end of the season, when you track it back, you look at this and you go, actually, this was absolutely key to us getting promoted this season back to the Premier League.
Just two more points for Portsmouth to add is, I can't believe this. At home, that season, Portsmouth only conceded 8 goals. Yeah, 8 goals.
You're kidding.
Home. Yeah, when everyone else is like 25. Even we're not bad with 17, but 8.
No, it was 9 goals. It was they scored 48 and conceded 9.
1 to go.
But away from home, it was slightly different. They away from home, they scored 32 and conceded 37.
Yeah,
it was quite a turnaround there.
And then the other thing, if you remember when I talked about the transfers, at the beginning of the season, they lose Darren Anderson, don't they? And then obviously, you looking at the team, they probably spent the money quite wisely then, really. Yeah.
But so this is the program.
I love this one. Match. I love that one.
Yeah,
that's a quality.
Martin Allen and Kevin Keane there in the old sky blue and white striped away
Argentina.
Yeah. Okay, so guess what? What do you think? I'm going to press a button.
Brian Moore.
Now.
It's going to be Brian Moore this week. Brian Moore.
I know what he's got. He's got the John Monson coat now, and he's just going to turn up with a big coat.
He needs that funny mic.
No, nothing like that. Behave yourselves. Okay, so this is the Aldi Martin Tyler commentary, ladies and gentlemen, of West Ham United 2, Portsmouth 0 from the 1992-1993 season. Enjoy. So, corner to West Ham, down their left-hand channel. Kevin Keane to take it. Hangs it up there to the back post. Colin Foster meets it, and Trevor Morley hits the woodwork. And Portsmouth clear their lines, but only just. It's bouncing around on the edge of the box. Matty Holmes trying to win it. Peter Butler does. It goes back out to the left-hand side for Kevin Keane. Swings it in on his right foot. Trevor Morley, and it's well wide in the end. But West Ham are turning the screw on Portsmouth here. And you feel it's only a matter of time before they'll get the breakthrough. So there's the corner from Kevin Keane. He hangs it up towards the back post. Colin Foster meets it with the header, and Trevor Morley as well, but couldn't beat the goalkeeper. And the ball's played forward by Matty Holmes. Trevor Morley, great save by Alan Knight, who came out to narrow the angle quickly and denied the West Ham striker another goal to his already impressive tally this season. But West Ham have to throw in on their right-hand side. It's Tim Breaker. Takes the throw in to Mark Robson, who hits it sweetly with his left foot just over the bar. Alan Knight was backpedaling there. He wasn't quite sure, but it was an excellent drive from Mark Robson just over the bar. But you feel a goal is coming for the men in claret and blue. A little bit of a game ahead tennis going on here. They need to get the ball down. Martin Allen, Matty Holm, Mark Robson, out to the right. Tim Breaker gets a hold of it. Plays it back into Mark Robson. First time ball back to Tim Breaker. Swings the ball in for Trevor Morley. 1-0 West Ham. And you've got to say that goal's been coming. Portsmouth have been defending doggedly and determined, but you felt it was just a matter of time before the North Bank had reason to celebrate. Here it is again. The ball's played in by Tim Breaker. First time offload back to him from Mark Robson. Swings the ball into the penalty area, and there is Trevor Morley with a header. Alan Knight diving to his right, couldn't keep it out. And that's the lead for West Ham. And Trevor Morley looks like he's seen better days, in fairness. He's taken a whack to the head in getting to that ball, but the magic sponge will do its trick, I'm sure, and he'll be back fit and firing and leading the line for his team. So here we are in the second half. Corner to West Ham on their right-hand channel. Mark Robson plays it in. Colin Foster at the near post. That's 2-0. That's 2-0. And Colin Foster, who's only playing because Alvin Martin has picked up an injury. He's come in to good effect. Gets the header in from the Mark Robson corner. And that is 2-0 to West Ham United. And you'd like to think that is very likely job done for the men from Claret and Blue. Thank you very much.
Sorry, sorry. At the start of the thingy, did you see the West Ham fans throw the ball down the line and nearly took like all the people out on the front row on the half?
Those were the days. Those were the days.
Proper long.
Hey, Cal.
Cal.
All good.
Nearly took someone straight out.
I don't know whether you clocked it. Bit of bad news.
No. Damn it.
Liverpool equalised. Diogo Jota. Yeah, it is what it is.
Now. He's a guy.
But
he's in that guy's team as well on second. Flipping heck.
Thank you, Mark. You're very kind, as are you, Scott.
Is that goal going to stand, Gatesy? Sometimes I look at it, don't they? Is that definitely a goal?
I haven't seen.
Yeah, it's a goal.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your kind words, gentlemen.
Are Man United going to do anything to help us or not after
no, of course they
fiasco?
That
fiasco at Leicester.
Oh, hang on. What's this? Transatlantic accent commentary. Do you think?
You are getting
but yeah,
better,
so
you are getting
so that
better.
was
Right.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it, mate.
But guys, I mean, like I say, it was a game that at the time we didn't think was all that, and at the end, it was absolutely crucial to the season. So that's why I've included it.
That was a proper whack from Morley. What Morley had there, wasn't it?
He got proper clumped. You see the blood sort of like.
He can take it. Yeah, he can take it.
And as I say on the commentary, here's the magic sponge.
That'll make you feel better.
Yeah, freezing cold. Go on, there you go. I've broke my leg, boss. No, it's fine. Don't worry.
Trevor Morley's had a couple of really serious injuries. He mentions when.
Yeah,
I think he nearly had a fractured skull, and he carried on playing until
really.
He said he put his finger in his head and it felt soft. What, the bone?
Ooh.
He's a nutcase. He is. Once he needed new football boots, and they gave him football boots that were 2-3 sizes too small. He couldn't even run on the pitch. He's from the old school, mate. He's from the old school, mate.
So, Jazz,
guess back
what's
to
your
me.
second game, mate?
My second game is against one of the teams that's not too far from where I live. It's Brentford, the Bees. The Hammers versus the Bees. 17th of April, 1993. Attendance 16,522. And I've got the program.
Wow.
And I got the program yesterday, literally from the guy. So
do you mean to say that I've got this banner for absolutely nothing?
From now on, I think so, because I've probably got to have, hopefully.
Oh.
Milesy, the program was £1.50.
5p more than last season.
£1.50, and it mentions the club call number. That's interesting, Gatesy. The club call number is mentioned on the front page of the program, so we're probably getting a cut out all the. We're probably naughty children then calling like £1 a minute, and then they're getting West Ham's getting 20p out of that per minute. You know, of course. And another interesting thing for everyone is, we spoke about the bondholders and how many are out there, and I kept saying that they get a lot of benefits. So I've got the prices for the 1993-94 season ticket. So adult West End upper, which is premium, is £290. It's
how many of the or how much of Upton Park would you say in those days was seated? Because this was before it went to an all-seater stadium, wasn't it? We still had the North Bank, the South Bank. The main stand would have been seated, wouldn't it? I'm trying to remember. Was the East stand?
I think all of the West was seated. I think all of it. I think even the lower bit. Lower bit happened maybe a few years before this, if I remember listening to someone. So I think all the West stand was seated.
Yeah.
East, Chicken Run was probably standing for a while behind the goal on it, because all those bloody stands got demolished, didn't they, as we go through the seasons. But
this was the season that we waved goodbye to the South Bank, wasn't it? At the end of this season.
Yeah, and when we played there, sort of following season, you don't see anything. There's all these borders up, isn't there? But if £290 a ticket as a bondholder, Gatesy, you get it for £190. That's £100. That's nearly half price.
Yeah, not bad.
So that's what I was telling you, that as a bondholder, you got some lot of things going on there, I tell you. But it's interesting. I mean, for kids, you're talking £130 in the £120 in the North. No, as a junior, North Bank, £85 for the season in the North Bank.
Those were the days.
Going through the teams, if you look at Brentford, there's a Kenny Sanson for Brentford at number 3.
Wow.
He probably
not the Kenny Sanson.
Well, I believe so. There's not too many with that.
I didn't realise he played for Brentford at the back end.
Must have come towards the end of his career. You've got Marcus Gale at number. Oh my God! There's another. I didn't realise number 8 is Alan Dickens. Hey,
what?
Oh wow!
I didn't know this. I didn't know that. I am shocked. I need to check if that is that Alan. I mean, there's no one else. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Another Alan Dickens.
So it looks like Chelsea. I think Chelsea got rid of him fairly quick.
He didn't do so well there, did he?
No, but it makes sense. And then he probably came out of football really quick after that. And
do you know they reckon that with Dicko, they reckon that he didn't believe in himself enough.
No,
he was better than what he thought.
He was very shy, reserved, no confidence. And McAvenny says we used to tell him, "Come on, beef up a bit, be a bit of a man." And he wouldn't even knock on Johns. And so the wages he's at West Ham were pretty astonishingly low compared to McAvenny and CC.
Yeah.
Even though in that famous season they say that he was the main person, really. Yeah, it is Alan. That is Alan Dickens. Yeah, that is the one. Yeah, the program says it includes former Hammer. Yeah, Alan Dickens. Chris Hughton, I reckon he's joined them as well. Marcus Gale.
Did Alan Dickens do the knowledge? I'm sure he became a London black cab driver, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He's one of those, again, because of his shyness, he doesn't often turn up at any event. So the boys of 86 video that have got the great dinner they had at Upton Park with John Law's daughter, son, his wife. He's one of the missing players, unfortunately, on that night.
Really?
Yeah.
Such a shame.
He said he's not well, but I just got a feeling he just doesn't feel comfortable. I mean, a lot of these players are quite shy, Gatesy, George Paris, people like that. I remember George Paris interviewing 85, 86 to go, ITV go, let's say interview this young lad. He used to catch the bus to the ground. Do you know?
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know who else does that by all accounts? Vladimir
Dev can't drive. Alan Damage has never learned to drive. My dad was a cabbie for a while. He used to drop him off a lot,
Yeah, no, apparently Vladimir Soufal gets the bus quite often.
Yeah, sorry. I listened to the Mark Noble podcast,
Yeah, so did I.
And what about the one on Souček when he made his mum and dad get the Stanson Express?
Yeah, mad, isn't it? Totally
Weapon,
different
weapon.
mentality, those Czech boys.
So Suchek's mum and dad come over, obviously must have been before lockdown, and to get back to the airport, he just went, "Yeah, you just get this train," and he got the Stansted, made them get the Stansted Express to go home.
Mental.
Oh, I like
Absolutely
that. I like that. I
cracking.
told you these boys are from the
So
old
down to
times,
earth,
yeah.
though, aren't they?
The old boys, aren't they? Yeah, great. So mine, obviously the Brentford game, and we're obviously into the last 3-4 games now, and it's neck and neck with Portsmouth, like Gatesy mentioned. We don't know who's going to go up. Obviously, the playoff positions are fairly secured. You've got teams like Leicester, Swindon, Tranmere in the playoffs, and obviously we can't actually. We didn't finish that far off Newcastle, the champions. To be fair, 5-6 points maybe. But yeah, we do want to go up the right way, and Brentford in the league at that time are fourth from bottom, just outside of relegation. So we should kind of do well. I think in the reverse fixture at Brentford, oh my God, he drew 0-0. Wow. But the crowds have picked up. It's like I said, 16.5. So big, they're going up slowly. So anyway, the game starts. Looking at the lineups, I think, it's the same people. Yeah, Speedy's coming with Morley. Keane is still there. I think Keane and Robson and Butler are key in this season. Bishop turns up. Let me see how many times Bishop played in that season, because he didn't start. Hang on, where's Bishop? Bishop's not in it that often. I'm surprised. Wow, I didn't realise that.
Because you had, I think, most of that season, wasn't it? Butler and Martin Allen with a central midfield combination.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't realise.
Yeah.
Bishop has 14 games as 7 as sub. There you go.
Nothing, is it?
Yeah, as a captain
What
year.
did they play that season? 46 matches in the league? Yeah, 46 matches.
46. So you got people like Mark Robson, 40. You've got Martin Allen, 33. There you go. Yeah. It's all kind of, So anyway, the game starts. It's a nice interchange between Morley and Keane, linking up really well together. Passes it to Julian Dix, and it's one of those Julian Dix halfway line crosses. Passes to kind of Butler, and he heads it in off the right-hand side of the post. And that's his second goal for the club. And at half-time, we're 1-0 up, really. So nice interchange, good football. Julian Dix's trusted left foot finds Butler, and he gets his head to it, and it goes in. We're 1-0 up. Second half, the thing with Speedy, I definitely remember this. He was getting stick because he was. I mean, I'll come into it a little bit. Obviously, with the history with Chelsea, and perhaps in the West Ham games, he's given it the big one, and obviously he would. I mean,
2-1 Liverpool.
Yeah.
Sorry,
my wife's just told me. It's all going a little bit pear-shaped.
I'll tell you, Man United, thank you very much. Thank you. Both Manchester clubs. Thank you very, very much. Remember it. Anyway, so bloody hell. Speedy finds Kevin Keane. So Keane's involved a lot, and you see him switching wings a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes from one wing to the
busy,
next.
very busy.
Keane has a shot bottom right. So Speedy finds Keane. Keane has a shot. And it's so accurate. It goes off the post bottom right and goes in. So we saw the Butler header go in off the right-hand side post, and now we've seen a shot off the right-hand side post again from Kevin Keane, and we're 2-0 up. The third goal involves quite a few players, actually. Again, it's Julian Dix. It's a long ball to David Speedy, who crosses the ball unselfishly into the penalty area, finds Trevor Morley, and is a great left finish into the left side, really. And we're kind of 3-0 up from there. The fourth goal is a Kevin Keane corner again. Finds Julian Dix. We forget Julian Dix is very good at heading the ball. He scored quite a good number of goals.
He was.
Yeah.
He had a good spring on him, didn't he? He had a good jump on him. Good header from Dix. And I'm not sure of my notes, though, but I think Julian Dix's header actually gets saved, and then Martin Allen taps in the rebound. And this goal is bang on 90 minutes, really. So it's kind of the last action of the game, and we comfortably sort of win 4-0. So looking at these type of results towards the end, I don't think we're getting nervous. We're kind of winning every game at the end. It's neck and neck. And sometimes you'd find that you get a bit nervous, don't you? Especially if there's another club doing the same as you, but we're carrying on. So Maybe it's Harry Redknapp in the dressing room making a difference. And maybe with Matty Holmes from Bournemouth, Gatesy, that's got to be Harry involved in it, I would have thought.
Oh, you'd think so, yeah. Might even be a brown envelope, allegedly.
Yeah, we'll see. I've got a bit of hay fever there at night time.
That's all right, mate. Take your time.
So this was the so we still got 2 more home games after this. So this was one of the last, and we won, and it's just neck and neck, mate. And again, 4 goals, slick football, and we carried on. Yeah.
Good choice, Jazz. Good choice, Jazz.
And it was in, as you said, it was in that run towards the end of the season when we got, was it 4 consecutive wins on the spin towards the end of the season? So,
and you know me from my record, I love London derbies. You know, I love London derbies. So there's another one for the record.
Adds a little bit of an extra layer of spice, doesn't it?
Especially because we don't often play Brentford. You know, we don't often.
Yeah.
You got to find it surprising. I don't like talking or covering the Millwall games for some reason. I just don't. I don't. I don't know any of their players. I'm not attracted to anything they do. It just doesn't bother me. So I'll just. It goes over my head. Yeah, it just goes in my head. Really, I don't often talk because there was a good 2-2 game in this season, but I thought Duke might have picked it up if he was well, so I just left it alone. I didn't want to delve with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I did try looking for the Brentford program, but I couldn't find it. Hang on a minute, or was it the Oxford game? Hang on.
I got the Brentford
one. It was that one. Yeah, it was that
Brentford one. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah,
you got it. Yeah,
that's the Brentford one. I did find it. It's Milesy's one that I found. Your next choice, Milesy. Over to you.
Yeah. So another goal fest from me. 2 more goals than the last one. I have chosen.
Joking. You had 6 last time.
Yeah. So this is the West Ham United 5-3 win at home to Oxford.
Yeah, great game. Yeah.
So this game we didn't get off to the best of starts, to be honest. We went 1-0 down. Oxford worked well with short corner. Eventually the ball came back out to the corner taker, who whips the ball in, and it was a great header. The striker in question, who they were saying, correct me if I'm wrong if I say it wrong, was John Derlin, was the striker. Derlin, sorry, not Derlin. My apologies. Yeah, that goal was his 8th goal in 4 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was a bit of in a goal streak there, and we went back on level terms with Clive Allen's Clive Allen's ball. Came into the box from the right-hand side to Robson, who crossed the ball back to Allen with a little flick. Goalkeeper had no chance. So, yeah, we started off well with that one. Then we had the ball in our own half. The ball gets played forward to Kevin Keane, who then passes the ball to Tim Breaker, who just took a touch infield. And was it last week when I mentioned that he scored a weldy right in the top corner? I think it was Breaker. But yeah, this was it Tim Breaker? It was like a right back run. Now. I can't remember now. Sorry, it seems so long. But yeah, no, it was just a great run. The ball come in, and like I said, he just hit it. Keeper had no chance. The power just beat him over the top. So yeah, no, that was a very good start. And then the other fullback decided to get on the act, Mr. Dix. The ball got laid off to him. Typical Dixie shot, about 30 yards out. Drove the ball straight in the top right-hand corner. And then they went, on the commentary, they went, yeah, we're going to show you a better angle. And it was from the other end of the goal. So it's not just so you saw it right behind. And like I said, the goalkeeper, even 2 goalkeepers probably wouldn't, as Andy Gray would say, 2 goalkeepers wouldn't save that one. and that pretty much where it was. And then 5 minutes into the second half, we had a free kick about 25, 30 yards out on the right-hand side. I can't remember who laid him off, but Dix decided to unleash another shot. But it took a big deflection, and the ball, the power just beat the goalkeeper. And he went mad when he scored that goal. A player who really surprised, I didn't realise he was, that old because I thought he played a little bit longer. That was Magilton got a
Jim
goal back.
Magilton.
Southampton guy.
Yeah.
I didn't. I get confused because I associate him with Ipswich, and I thought,
Yes.
and that must have been early 2000s, wasn't it? But I thought it was a little bit later than that. That's when I.
Is it Jim, isn't it? Is it Jim?
Yeah.
He's from Narn. Just for jazz.
No. He hit a good shot from 30 yards out. Ludo had no chance, to be fair. The surface was a bit skiddy, and it just the pace beat him, to be honest. And then here's one for you. Melville scored for Oxford to make it 4-3.
Andy Melville.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I was like,
11 years or so later, he'd be one of our players.
Yeah, that's the thing. What you begin to, yeah. When we got relegated, he was for a season, wasn't he? I don't know.
Oh, God, I've forgotten about him.
He was in.
Got him from Fulham. Was it Fulham? Did we get him from Fulham? Did he play for Fulham?
Sounds about right.
I have to Google his face. I can't remember him.
No. So he made the
Welshman. Okay.
Yeah.
So panic stations. So 4-3, you're probably feeling the worst. But then with 4 minutes to go, Dix played a long ball over from the free kick. Morley was nowhere near him. Headed the ball 10 yards out. Goalkeeper had no chance. So a very goal fest game. But like you said, this goal or any of these high wins come crucial in the end for us.
You know, the funny thing is, Milesy, when you you can see loads of pictures of Andy Melville. I know who he is. I just recognise the face now. Yeah, just recognise him.
Do you know if I'm wrong, Milesy? Did not a certain Joey Beecham play in this game for Oxford?
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure.
Sure he did. I remember this game.
Was he that brave enough? Was he? I'm surprised that he turned.
Well, this was before he came. I think this is about a year or two years before he came to us.
Of course.
And then left very quickly.
No, the problem is like them season reviews. Now, do you remember when I said like at the start, that there were longer games, but as the season goes on, the season reviews now are like an hour and 50 minutes now, so they're not as long as what they are. But like you said, I'm picking them up. That's when I do my notes. The names who I remember, like it coming to their end of the career, was when I really first started. So like you said, like even who's a Southampton goalkeeper? Is it Jones? Do you know what I mean? Like people like that. They were playing. Do you know what I mean? They're playing then, but like when we're reviewing now, but they were coming to their end of the career. So I love it, mate. So that's my game.
Cool.
Going back to the Man United game, I was fuming that Greenwood didn't start. The guy's bang on form. They dropped him for Pogba, and it's his fault for the Jota goal, apparently, or one of the goals. Absolute joke. Greenwood...
Firmino scored his first goal in 16 games. Yeah, Pogba just left him for dead.
Greenwood's on fire, and they dropped the kid. Greenwood's a great finisher. It's ridiculous.
Always away. But there you go. Good selection, Milesy. 8-goal thriller.
We're 6 now, Gatesy. We've dropped to 6, mate. Yeah.
All we've got to do is worry about us. Yeah. All we've got to do is worry about us.
Within the 3 games left, who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, so my second game. Now, I was actually at this game, and this was the first home game. This was the first home game following the untimely passing of Bobby Moore. We played Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, just to give you a little bit of my situation going into this game. So I'd have been 16, 17, something like that. And I was doing it was an apprenticeship. It was called the Youth Training Scheme, YTS.
I thought you was going to say YouTube then.
No, well before. And I was supposed to be working every Saturday because on a Wednesday, I would take a day off of my work to go to college to do a City and Guilds qualification. So on the Saturday, I was supposed to work. I can't remember what excuse I made up. I think I said someone was, having a wedding or some load of old nonsense. I made an excuse. I wasn't quite on the level. I didn't say I was going to watch a game of football. And I got that Saturday off. So there I am on the North Bank. And this was actually the first time I'd been to a football game on my own.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of a sort of watershed moment in my life, if you will. And yeah, I remember rocking up to Upton Park at this particular time, and the whole of the front of the gates, and all along the walls and all that, flowers, scarves,
Yeah.
shirts, and not just from West Ham. I mean, it was from teams all around, not just the country, but all around Europe, all around the world. I mean, it was just huge, absolutely huge. And this was one of our bigger attendances of the season. I mean, our biggest attendance of this season was the last game against Cambridge, when obviously we got the promotion. However, this particular game was 24,679 that rocked up to Upton Park to pay their respects to West Ham's all-time greatest player, bar none. And I remember being in the North Bank. As I say, it's my first game at Upton Park on my own. I'm there. I'm like a sardine, and I'm looking, and out comes Martin Peters and Jeff Hurst. He wasn't a knight at this point, so he was Jeff Hurst, and Ron Greenwood.
Yeah.
Coming out with the wreath. It was a claret and blue shirt wreath with the number 6 on it, and that was put on the centre spot, and then the players would line up around the sort of centre circle, and there was I can't remember if it was a minute silence or a 2-minute silence. I think it was a minute, but whatever. So, and it was perfectly observed. I remember, the Wolves fans were absolutely respectful, and you could literally hear a pin drop, and it was just...
Gatesy, I just wanted to know, did you, obviously you came from the front, how many thousand shirts were there outside the ground, mate, if you remember?
Oh, mate, yeah. I couldn't tell you. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. And it just showed the respect and the admiration that the man was held in, not just by us. As I say, this wasn't just claret and blue scarves and shirts and all the rest of it. It was literally all 4 corners of the globe. There was something, there from here or there or whatever. So, and yeah, I remember, being in and amongst it. And as I say, it was a very poignant atmosphere, obviously, because of what was going on at the club and what we'd been through in losing someone at the age of 51.
Wow.
And he'd had cancer before. I don't know if you know this story, but he'd had testicular cancer in the run up to the 65 Cup Winners' Cup, and he'd had to have a testicle removed.
I didn't know
and
that.
Bear in mind, this is the mid 60s, so that's a big deal back then. A big deal.
Yeah, I remember Gatesy, the documentaries what were done on that show on iPlayer, the Bobby, when they showed that, and he just, and for obviously I've growing up, but obviously I only know the stories, etc. Like you said, you were lucky to be there. But what they said was he never let it affect his game. He was open. Nope. He took the advice. He went to the doctors. He had it done. And for someone with cancer not being that knowledgeable back then, the fact that he done that as well, and like you said, unfortunately, what happened, and what was it? A week before he died, he was commentating on an England game, wasn't he? At Wembley.
I remember seeing a photograph. It was Capital Gold Sport.
Jonathan Pearce,
and he was commentating with Jonathan Pearce, and I remember seeing a photograph because I think the news had broken that he'd had, cancer, and that it wasn't looking good. And I remember a photograph that they put of him on the sports pages of the newspaper. And you look and you go, oh, wow, that doesn't look good. That does not look good. But
yeah.
But yeah, obviously I'll talk. Obviously the Audi Martin Tyler's waiting in the wings, so I don't want to give too much away about how the match unfolded. But one thing I remember, and this is a personal experience, because again, bear in mind I'm a 16, 17-year-old going to my first match at Upton Park on my own. And on the way back, I'm on the tube and I am sat with a load of Wolverhampton Wanderers supporters, and they're all blokes, and I'm like, oh shit.
You got your shirt on, have you? Got your colours on? Son?
Yeah, I was. It was fairly obvious who I was supporting, and it was fairly obvious who they supported. But they were good as gold. They were absolutely good as gold, and
yeah, Wolves is okay,
yeah,
mate. Yeah, nice boys.
you know. Anyway, so that's basically my own personal experience of this match. So obviously you've got the teams there that I've put up. So I'll just get rid of that, and real quickly, this is the program, and I still have this somewhere. This is the program that we obviously had with Bobby Moore on the front, the icon, the legend that is. And yeah, so we obviously got the win, but I think this particular match, it wasn't just the win that was important. You know, it was paying due respect to a legend, not just a club legend, but this man was a football legend. Make no mistake about that. And we've spoken about this. You know, the word legend gets bandied around for all sorts of people, and few of them actually deserve it. This guy deserved it, ladies and gentlemen. This guy was a one-off, simple as. So, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, it's 3-1 Liverpool.
Oh, you got to be joking me.
Yeah.
A minute after the second one.
So I'm gonna let him in. The Audi Martin Tyler, West Ham United 3, Wolves 1 from the 1992-93 season. Enjoy, people. So here we are in the second half. Score still locked at 0-0, but here come Wolves on the attack down the left-hand side. Robbie Dennison cuts inside, plays the ball into the penalty area. Mark Rankin hooks the ball to Steve Ball. That's 1-0. And the goal machine for Wolverhampton Wanderers strikes again. Here come West Ham now looking for the equaliser down their left-hand side. Mark Robson plays the ball in. Ball is cleared by the Wolves defence. Julian Dix, is that a foul? No, referee says play on. Comes back out to Mark Robson. Plays the ball back in. Trevor Morley at the near post. That's 1-1. That's the equaliser. And the North Bank celebrate as the men in claret and blue pull it back round within a few minutes of going behind. And here come West Ham again. Mark Robson with the ball. Plays a beautiful through ball to Kevin Keane. He's onto it. He's brought down. What's the decision? The referee points to the spot. And that is a penalty to West Ham United, despite the protestations of the Wolves defenders. Look at this. Beautiful ball played through by Mark Robson from back to front. Kevin Keane was onto it in a flash, and he was brought down. And here comes Julian Dix with the penalty. Left foot, no doubt at all. Hit like a rocket, and the goalkeeper had no chance. 2-1. Ball's played by Trevor Morley out to the right-hand side for Ian Bishop. He looks up, plays a ball in back towards Trevor Morley, and it comes to Matty Holmes on the back post, and that's 3-1, and that is surely game over. And that is surely 3 points for the EastEnders. A well-deserved 3 points in fairness. They went 1-0 down, and they've showed great determination to come back on this very poignant occasion. And the score is West Ham United 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. There you go. So as I say, on that particular...
Sorry, Gatesy. I'm just Man United are a fucking disgrace. What they've just done.
I'm sick of the whole Manchester thing. I
wasn't expecting any favours from them.
It's not on.
No, Gatesy. Literally, they passed the ball to him for them to score.
It's a disgrace.
Literally.
I'm sick of it. Yeah.
Do you think it's a conspiracy? I'm not going to go into that. No, I just think, you know, it is what it is. You know, but no, I mean, getting back to that game, I mean,
sorry,
it was that's cool. It was more. I mean, obviously the result was important to a point, and obviously with the way the season panned out, it was another, you know, it was another critical game because, you know, we went up by virtue of scoring one more goal than Portsmouth. So if we hadn't have got the 3 points there, then it was a completely different season. But it was more than that. It wasn't just getting 3 points. It, like I said, it was about paying all due respect to a player the like of which we'll never see again. And
I think the two.
that's pretty much it.
I think the two things I noticed is that talking about the crowd, we had a similar crowd for the previous home game. That was Newcastle 0-0, 24,000 again. The other thing is that obviously it looks to me that John Lyle wasn't there because I believe he was perhaps manager of Ipswich in the Premiership at that time. Maybe had another game.
I think he was. Yeah,
but John would have never missed an occasion like that. So that's the other thing that came to my mind.
Yeah, possible. But so that's match number 2 of my selection, and I commend this choice to the house. So Jazz, choice number 3, my friend.
Choice number 3 is I'm very popular with Bristol at the moment, so it's going to be with Bristol Rovers. It's going to be Bristol Rovers, mate. You know, you got Cairns, you've got LA and Rome, but I like Bristol. So there we go. And this is a program spoiling for Gatesy again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you got Potsy up
that's
there.
Cool.
Got Potsy up there. So looking at the table, this is obviously after the Brentford game, which I sort of looked at previously. Similar crowd, 16,000. Again, neck to neck. We need to kind of win this game. And I think it's a similar lineup again. You got Keane, you got Robson, you got Butler, you got Speedy Morley. Gale's back in instead of Martin. That's anything I've noticed. I think the rest is the same. Bristol Rovers. I don't recognise anyone apart from perhaps Andy Tilson rings a bell and Gary Waddock at QPR. Is that the same one? Number 11? That's the
I
only
remember
Gary
Steve Tilson played for Southend United, but I don't know about Andy Tilson.
Okay, but Gary Waddock got to be the
Gary
QPR
Waddock,
one.
wasn't he QPR?
Yeah, that's got to be the one, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ginger lad, is he? Can't remember. But anyway, so this is again. But the thing with Bristol Rovers is, I mean, Brentford were 4th from bottom, so we got rid of them easily. Bristol Rovers are kind of bottom of the league. And you won't believe it, we go 1-0 down. So
no, I would believe it with us, Jazz.
So the team at the bottom have taken the lead. They got nothing to play for, as far as I know. But there you go. Someone called Billy Clark. It's a corner, and he's virtually unmarked. He heads it into the net, and there's no one near him. If anything, it looks like the 2 West Ham centre-backs are marking each other. And Billy Clark's got a lot of room, I mean, reasonable amount of room, and he plants the header into the goal, and we're 1-0 down. And then going back to the David sort of Speedy thing is, I do remember now, and Gatesy probably remembers, it's all coming back to me now, he was missing a lot of chances. A lot of chances, and the crowd were definitely getting a bit, on his back.
Yeah.
And what happens after being 1-0 down is Trevor Morley put Speedy in. The defender kind of miscontrols the pass, overhits it, and then Speedy's straight in there. He's got just 1-to-1 with a goalkeeper, and he overhits the touch. And he didn't even get a shot at the end of it because his touch was so poor. And the goalkeeper just managed to sort of get hold of it. And you can tell that the crowd are like, what the hell? So that's a really, really bad miss. But Speedy's known for a couple of things, he's quite a tough character, as they normally are from Scotland. It doesn't seem to faze him. He carries on working hard. And he wins the penalty. So good on him. He crosses the ball very close to the Bristol sort of Rovers defender. It's a handball. So it's a penalty. There's no doubt about it. And Julian Dix, I mean, one of the few players that you don't even need to look at. It's a goal. It's virtually going to be. And he smashes it in with the same vigour and power and decisiveness like Ray Stewart, really. And one thing I remember now, Frank McAvenny, when he lost out on the Golden Boot in '86 to Lineker, he said half his bloody goals are penalties. And he said every time unluckily...
And he was right.
And he goes, I couldn't take the West Ham. He got Ray Stewart. And he goes, when I came back the second time, I didn't get a chance again because he got Julian Dix taking him. So he goes, you got 2 of the greatest penalty takers.
Your luck's out.
Oh, so he's like... because that can add what 6 to your total easily, 5 or 6 back in those days.
Yeah.
So you kind of mentioned that really quite interestingly enough. So it's 1-1, but the other thing was it only takes 2 minutes to go 2-1 up, and it's Robson. He intercepts a pass on the halfway line. He kind of deflects it into Kevin Keane. He finds Speedy in the penalty area, and again, Speedy being what I noticed about Speedy, he's quite a good team player. He sets a lot of goals up, he holds it up, and he goes into the penalty area, and he finds Trevor Morley. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a shot from Speedy. It does look like a pass across the penalty area to Morley, who arrives a touch late but gets his foot to it, but it hits the bar. Then from the bar, Speedy heads it into the goal. So he's won a penalty. He scored a goal. But one thing you notice is he's so brave that I think half his head's been knocked off. So Martin Allen worryingly waves the physio on. Speedy's not moving.
He's dead. Don't worry, we'll get the magic sponge out. That will sort it out.
I bet it's soaking rum though, isn't it, Gatesy? But there's rum in that bloody sponge thing. But yeah, so
Pep him up.
So Speedy took it to heart with the crowd sort of hissing at him, and so he's won a penalty. He scored the winning goal. And the other thing I noticed, actually, I mentioned that in the Cambridge game when one of you guys covered it. The other, but yeah, we carry on. We win again, and obviously going into the final game, yeah, it's just looking really, really tight. But we got back in this game pretty good though. Yeah, 1-0 down and 1-2-1. Yeah, so we just crept over the line really. Yeah.
All good.
All good, mate.
Great choice, Jazz. 3 out of 3. Absolute crackers.
All beginning with
Milesy.
B. Bristol, Brentford.
Yeah, all the bees.
Nick, yeah.
Milesy, you got something to live up to there, sunshine.
I have. Well, I think it might be a game or a game after. I've gone the away victory at Swindon Town.
Oh,
I've gone for the 3-1
on the telly.
Yeah, no. So, like I said, so when I was looking into it, you can watch the full game on YouTube. The full game of this, you can watch it.
Yeah.
So,
oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So, I didn't watch it. I'm not going to lie. I didn't watch all of it. I'm not going to lie.
That'd be commitment, wasn't it? Good commitment.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Milesy. Was Glenn Hoddle playing for Swindon at this point?
I think he may have.
Player manager,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, this is the really thing. You can tell they're not proper hardcore fans like us. On this website, Gatesy, our team sheets are always there. I think it's once we get in the Premier League, I think they'll start coming back again. Hopefully,
yeah,
they'll appear there. It's a bit.
What can you do?
Yeah, I know, but no. We started off very well in this game. The ball fell nicely in the end to Robson, who played like a half volley pass straight through. And Morley hit the ball first time. So he was running from halfway, and then he got to the edge of the box, and he just hit the ball first time. The goalkeeper was coming out to narrow the eye, but he just literally curled it round it, and it was probably very close to the crossbar, but it was just a great finish, and he went mad when he scored that goal. I think that was his 22nd goal of the season.
Oh, because he's fairly reserved. It's just a handshake with Morley normally and back to the halfway line.
Literally. So I don't know whether, so he scored at that end and literally run like towards the corner, like celebrating and stuff like that. So yeah, it must have been maybe they were just, like you said, it's the close of the season. Maybe emotions were running high then if it's not normally like him. But so the second half started and Dix picks up the ball just in the West Ham half, and he just kept running. Yeah, and he just kept on running with the ball. And then he got to the edge of their box and then found a nice ball to Allen, who takes 2 touches, one a little chip up, and he just drills this shot straight in the bottom corner, the far corner. He went a bit mad as well when he scored this one. I don't know whether, like you said, the end of the season and that they're probably thinking that they're getting close now, and they just went on a mad one. To be perfectly honest, especially Dix just run straight up to him. But I hate for me to say this to point it out, but I do review every goal. This was a howler from Ludo, Swindon's goal.
Ooh.
Mr. Marwood scored, done the
Brian
shot. Brian Marwood with the shot.
Okay.
That's Swindon.
Yeah,
God, he's come down from Arsenal, hasn't he? Wow.
yeah.
Oh.
So he hit the shot. It went to Ludo. He went down to get it, and it went through his legs. And
no.
no, but it was going so slow. So Ludo was just getting back, and guess the Swindon forward. Guess what his name was?
Oh, Craig Maskell.
No, Hazard.
Oh, not
Is
Mickey
it-
Hazard.
Yeah,
Because they had that Norwegian forward, didn't they, Gatesy? Maybe the next
That
season.
was
Remember
about
that?
a year or two later. A year on about
Yeah.
Jan Åge
Well,
Fjørtoft.
Yeah, and then they
Yeah,
had Shearer. They had Shearer, didn't they? As well. They used to have a striker called
Duncan
Shearer.
Shearer,
Yeah, Duncan Shearer.
Scottish
yeah.
lad.
Jotter's just hit
Yeah.
the post, mate. Jotter's just hit the
Yeah,
post. Is
not good.
ridiculous. Flipping hell.
yeah. So yeah, a bad day in the office for. You should have seen him though. He went nuts. He was probably so annoyed with him. He was like punching the floor, and he weren't a happy bunny. But
At least
like
he
you
showed
said,
he
it was.
cared.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I tell you
I
what, after playing Bristol Rovers, I would have gotten a coach, and they could have dropped me off to Swindon on the way, wouldn't they? Next game. it's roughly the same direction, roughly.
Yeah, no, but like you said,
Yeah.
Gatesy, I wouldn't want to tell him to his face that it was his fault. I don't know about you or Jazz.
No, I'd leave that.
I think he's a gentle giant, from what I know.
So do I.
Yeah. I think you
Like I
can take
said,
the
I
mick-
mean-
you can take
Yeah,
the mick
you
with
could-
him, but make sure you're about a few yards away, though. Yeah.
And
He's got long arms.
yeah, and on the commentary they said it. I don't know what your memory's like, but like you said, Dixie was fine form. He said this was his great one, but they said this was one of Dixie's best games. Like the commentators were saying it.
Okay.
And he was heavily involved again with the third goal. Martin Allen drilled the ball out to him. Got close to the edge of the area. He took a couple of touches, and he just whipped the ball in to Mr. Kenny Brown. Scored with his first touch, and the West Ham fans were at that end in the corner. So he went straight running to them, and there was a bit of a mad celebration. I think, like you said, this fixture was played on the 2nd of May. I'm pretty sure they were getting that feeling that they've done the job. The one thing what I want to say is, I know we've sort of mentioned it, is I love that kit. That kit especially, like when you sit,
away one.
Yeah. No, I loved it, and like you said,
I haven't got it. Yeah.
But I've picked some Goalfest games. So what's that? 6, 8, and 4. So there's been a few games, and we'll hand it over. Jeff in the studio said we need to go to Martin Tyler for the last game.
Well, Marzi, looks like the Bukta kits are quite popular then. This is Bukta as well, again.
Yeah.
And if I remember,
Yeah,
Bukta is a name from the 70s, isn't it, Gatesy? Maybe perhaps
They were our kit manufacturer in the 75 Cup final.
There you go. Wow.
Yeah.
Bukta.
Milesy, this is for
English,
you.
does it? Oh, yeah, that guy, Australian guy, isn't he? Australian boy.
He looks massive.
He's Australian guy. He's an Australian player. I
Can't remember his bloody name.
I can't. But I
Skippy
know
the
he
bush
is.
kangaroo.
I know he is. Yeah.
All the Australians are now turning off.
Yeah, we've lost a viewer.
I do apologise.
Neil from Down Under, isn't he? Mr. Neil. He's a famous one.
Yeah, he's just turned off because I've just insulted his countrymen. Oh, I do apologise. Come back. I didn't mean it.
Is Neil an expat? Pat, is he? Is he actually Aussie? I don't know.
Do you know what? I'm not actually too sure. I've got to be honest with you. I'm not too sure. I think he might be, but I could be wrong. But he's Neil from Down Under. So I mean, my sister-in-law's lives in Brisbane, has done for
actually
about the last 8 years or so.
I'm good friends with the.
And she's turned native.
Oh,
yeah. Her accent's changed.
I'm good friends with the Kiwi Hammer guy. Really nice guy. Kiwi Hammer's good friends with JPW. Actually, you remind me, I need to catch up with him. It's been a while. He's a nice guy. Yeah.
Right. So my last one is the last one of the season, ladies and gentlemen, which was the match at home against Cambridge United. Now, going into this particular match, just to give it a little bit of context for you. So we were locked, as I think I mentioned it earlier, level pegging on 85 points at this stage before a ball had been kicked. 85 points level with Portsmouth. We had a home fixture against Cambridge United, and Cambridge United were battling relegation, so they needed to get 3 points here. So this was not an easy fixture in theory. Whereas Portsmouth had a home fixture against Grimsby Town, who didn't really have an awful lot to play for, if truth be told. They were ninth in the table, so they weren't going to get into the playoffs and they weren't going to get relegated. So there was nothing really going on there. But interestingly enough, they actually took Grimsby. They actually at one point took a 1-0 lead. But again, as I say, we were level on points before a ball had been kicked, 85 apiece. And when the teams were locked on same amount of points, it wasn't goal difference that was the first differentiator. It was goals scored. And going into this particular match, we had scored 1 goal more than Portsmouth. So, conceivably, we could have won 1-0, but if Portsmouth had won 3-0, then we'd have been going into the playoffs.
Yeah, so we are second. We are second. Yeah, we are second going into this last match. Yeah, we are second.
Yeah, we were second, and we obviously were second after the match had finished.
And Marzi, when you look at the bottom 7, take away Bristol Rovers, the next 6 together, there's 2 points between them, like you said, with Cambridge, everything to play for. I can't believe that. Yeah,
imagine that in the Premier League, 6 teams could get relegated on the last game of the season. Imagine that.
From the bottom 8 or 7, any of them can go down. Oh my God, I didn't realise. Yeah. Wow.
And that's the programme from the Cambridge game.
Yeah.
And if you just notice where you've got Clive Allen's foot, and then you've got a caption there that says "looking ahead." Yeah, again, that's sort of like touching on the fact that this is actually the last match to be played in front of the old South Bank before that would be demolished and replaced by what became the Bobby Moore stand.
3-2. 3-2.
Greenwood, come on, Greenwood, was it?
How long we got left?
Your mate Rashford.
Oh, don't say that.
Sorry, Jan. Sorry.
Do you know the guy that's second in the league? He's got Phillips, who set Jota up. He's got Jota. He's got Rashford. I've got Greenwood. Oh, no.
Greenwood's on, though.
I don't like Rashford, man. I told you, I think he's had a stinker this season, but there you go.
But Greenwood's going to get the 4-3 winner, Joe.
Yeah, Green was already. Yeah. This guy's going to be so close.
Shall I bring him in for his last stint, gentlemen?
Yes, please.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, the third and final time tonight. Here he is, the Audi Martin Tyler, commentary of West Ham 2, Cambridge 0 from the final match of the 1992-93 season. Enjoy. So here come West Ham, 0-0 in the second half here. Kevin Keane plays the ball forwards to the West Ham's left-hand side. There's Mark Robson. Cuts inside. Gets into the penalty box, plays a beautiful cross in towards David Speedie on the back post, but it's cleared by Alan Kimball for a corner to West Ham United. West Ham just turning up the heat here on their opponents, who obviously need a result themselves to retain their Division 1 status. But West Ham are looking to get 3 points to get promotion into the Premier League at the first time of asking. So here's the corner to West Ham, played in towards Julian Dix, gets the header. Robson, Speedy on the volley! West Ham 1, Cambridge 0. David Speedy with the goal. Is that enough to get them into the Premier League? Well, it's a good start, you have to say. David Speedy on loan from Southampton gets the goal, and that's West Ham off and running. So Julian Dix with the header. It was off the chest of Mark Robson. Speedy then with the header. Lashes it past John Filan. 1-0. So corner to West Ham down their right-hand side. Kevin Keane to take it. Plays the ball in. Julian Dix goes for it again. Here comes Ian Bishop. Left foot drive. Phelan with the save at his near post and kicks it away for a corner to West Ham United. That was an excellent save by the Australian down low. He couldn't have seen the ball till late. Tim Breaker, I think, was in the way. If you see it again here, so the corner's played in from Kevin Keane. Dix with the header. Yep, there's Tim Breaker, just providing a little bit of a decoy for Ian Bishop, who drove it well with his left foot. And Phelan down low to make the save and kicks it away for the corner. Billy Bonds must be absolutely on tenterhooks there. And the ball's played out to West Ham's left. Time is ticking now. Morley, Bishop, and it's through to Julian Dix. Wins the ball, plays it through to Clive Allen. That's 2-0, and that is surely the Premier League for West Ham United at the first time of asking. They are back to the top flight. Spare a thought for Cambridge United. They are relegated from Division 1. But look at the scenes here at Upton Park. The supporters are jubilant, and, well, they might be. Billy Bonds' men have got promotion at the first time of asking to the Premier League. Next season, they will be rubbing shoulders with the newly crowned Premier League champions, Manchester United, and I'm sure they will be playing football the West Ham way. Final score here from Upton Park is West Ham United 2, Cambridge United 0. And look at the hordes of the claret and blue supporting fans from the East End of London as they applaud their heroes. Billy Bonds, the manager, has done a tremendous job here. The final score, West Ham United 2, Cambridge United 0. Here from Upton Park. And that's
mad.
Where it ended, ladies and gentlemen.
I loved that with the crowd. That was class.
Yeah, that was very
watch it back
traditional,
again.
wasn't it?
You can see
Coming
there
onto
are
the pitch.
people
Yeah,
the other side of the advertising hoardings, and as soon as Alan scored, woof, off they went. Off they went. Brilliant. But those were the days. We always had it. I always remember football growing up. Last home game of the season, pitch invasion. Job done. So,
can I just say, you'd think Speedy would shave all that hair off, wouldn't you? Flipping big ball, but like there's just a little bit there. Just big...
I tell you what, Speedy really enjoyed that goal.
Seem
Nice celebrations, good colour.
Yeah, for someone on loan as well, that's class, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. The other thing I was going to mention, going back to Martin Allen, was my dad used to run a petrol station in Reading around between 87 and 90, I think it was, and I used to help him out a lot. And Martin Allen's from Reading. He used to run the Martin Allen Soccer School. You know, Gatesy probably knows. He was very famous on there.
Yeah.
And that time he was at QPR, and we got to know one of his best friends like really well. And it's just funny what happens, Gatesy. This particular guy, he never made it, and he never recovered from it. He's quite bitter. His girlfriend was saying, "I can't mentally shake it out of his head." He's like, "Oh, Martin's made it, but I was better than him at school." He used to bring in scrapbooks to us, show us like in the non-league, smashing 5 goals every game. Then he got an injury. So it's funny how we always talk about. There's a lot of stories out there with players just close, so close to making it, and then their lives just never recover really.
Yeah.
And then we got a couple of free tickets from. I sat next to Martin Allen's. Must have been his grandmother, his mum and dad. Because you get the staff tickets, and then you sit separately. Then, so this was West Stand upper, but a little bit not in the middle, but a little bit on the left-hand side, I think. So I met his dad and all them lot, and Martin joined, and it was brilliant. I love Martin Allen. Yeah, good lad. Good lad. Again, I don't know what he's doing in the management, but I thought he's a half decent manager myself. Yeah, he's all right.
Brentford he managed, didn't he? Was it Brentford?
More than that.
I thought he managed Barnet about 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's been around a bit.
He might even be there now. I'm not
and another person, Gatesy, I love to see him on Sky. People like that, they got really good opinion, really strong. and entertaining to watch, mate. Better than after people out there. But
Mm.
there you go. Yeah. But
Yeah, he's had 5 spells at Barnet.
bloody
Just
hell.
looking here, he's had 5 spells at Barnet. He must
So
get
did
on
they
with
go
the chairman or
Davids,
something.
didn't they?
I don't know
So
what's
did
going on there.
so did Davids, didn't he?
Well, I don't know about 5 spells.
But no, that's
That
funny.
might
That's
be
a
pushing
funny.
it a little bit.
But that was a funny story, wasn't it? Getting
He
sent
couldn't
off.
work
as
out
well.
what he was doing there.
Well, Tony Cotty had a little management stint at Barnet, if I remember, for
Did
a little
he?
bit.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
Him and Alvin didn't quite work out wherever they were. Alvin might have been at Southend, was he? I don't know. I forgot now.
I think it was Southend, Alvin Martin. Yeah.
It didn't quite work out, but
Just getting there, ladies and gentlemen. That is the final league table. Newcastle ran away with the first division in this particular season from the starting pistol right the way to the end. They were an excellent team to watch.
Yeah.
But we managed to sort of just get over the line ahead of Portsmouth by virtue of scoring a goal more than they did. And unfortunately for Portsmouth, they never made it up that season. It was Swindon who we beat in the second to last game, as Malsey covered. Yeah. I remember Glenn Hoddle was there at that time because I remember Hoddle playing in the final actually. But just
Look at that.
there, you've got
Look at that home record for us.
Yeah, only 2 defeats.
But Gatesy, what's going to happen the next couple of years, as we'll know, is John Monker's going to show up at Swindon, isn't he? Sooner or later, and then
I think he was at Swindon at this point. I think he was
already
part of the
there
Swindon team at this point, if I remember correctly.
That's another one, Harry.
I remember sort of I say players like Craig Maskell and players like that. Who else? Fraser Digby was the goalkeeper.
Swindon.
Yeah. But they didn't last very long in the Premier League.
Wasn't Summerby's son there as well? No, he's at Sunderland when he's at Sunderland.
Nicky Summerby, yes.
Was he at Swindon?
Yes, he was.
Oh, okay. I got confused. Okay, yeah. And his dad is a very, very close friend of Bobby Moore's. Gets very emotional. I remember. Yeah, he's in tears in a couple of the videos on Bobby Moore. I remember now. A very good friend of his.
Yeah. But so that's the league table as it finished. And
Man United
really
got a free kick right on the edge of the box.
Yeah, just seen that. Scott's just mentioned that.
Yeah, Marsley's lining up.
It's got to be for
he did join Chelsea, didn't he?
There's going to be another goal in this game for sure.
It's got to be Bruno.
Possibly.
If they
just to go. Gentlemen, your nominations for Hammer of the Year. Jazz, over to you. Your Hammer of the Year, please.
Julian Dix.
Okay.
What's yours, Gatesy?
And I'll let you go first, Milesy.
Okay, if you must.
I'll let you go.
This was tough for me. This was really tough.
Shall I tell you how many goals Dick scored before anyone says anything?
Crack on.
Go on in.
14 in the league.
Not bad. Mind you, how many red cards did he get? I think he got about 3 or 4 red cards hit in this season, didn't he?
The more the merrier. I don't know.
I remember him getting sent off at Derby.
That was very close.
I remember him getting sent off at Derby, and I think didn't he get sent off at Wolves? I've got a funny feeling he got sent off
the
at
bully.
Wolves.
Yeah, bully boy. Yeah, Bull Steeple always bloody scored against us. Yeah,
so like I said, Gatesy, I was humming and ahhing, but I'm going to give it to Mark Robson.
Yeah, good choice, mate.
Mark Robson.
Yeah, nearly played every game. Good choice.
Like I said, it was Morley. Like you said, he deserves all the credit. 45 appearances and 21 goals. But I think Robson was involved with a lot of the goals, not just scoring, but assisting and being a key player for us. So, fair play to him.
I think Keane was a close second. He didn't miss a game apart from one. Keane was lovely as well. Keane, great player.
Yeah.
Kevin Keane was my Hammer of the Year. I've gone for Keane because he was really energetic, really busy. And you know, the thing that was quite gutting is that the Cambridge game was his last game for us because he left and he went to Wolves.
Hey, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he went to Wolverhampton Wanderers. He could have come to the Premier League with us. I don't know what happened, if it was a contract dispute or this or that.
Oh,
I'm not quite sure, but
that's
yeah,
weird.
he didn't come with us to the Premier League. He stayed in the second tier and went to Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Well,
So I don't know the
apparently,
full story behind it, but there you go.
It's just a bit like the Paul Allen
He had a
issue
cracking
again.
season.
That is weird.
Yeah.
That is totally. I've got a really good memory and everything, as you know. This one has totally escaped my mind. I'm like,
Yeah.
geez, wow.
Yeah, no, the Cambridge game was his last game in claret and blue for West Ham, and he went to Wolves. So
that is odd.
there you go. What could have been.
And he doesn't come across as a troublemaker. That's odd. He will not argue with anyone about anything.
So I don't know if it was a contract dispute or something like that. I've really no idea what happened there. But Kevin Keane wasn't a West Ham player the following season. But I've got a little bit of bonus bit for you guys watching, and for you two as well, because here is the first team photograph.
Yeah, I think that was on my. I think I had that on my bedroom wall. That one, I believe.
I think I did as well.
Yeah, being that age.
Just looking there, back row, left to right, you've got Tim Breaker, Tony Gale, Stephen Banks, Alvin Martin, Mike Small, Ludek McCloskey, Colin Foster, and Martin Allen. Middle row, left to right, you've got Trevor Morley, Simon Clark, Kenny Brown, George Parris, Steve Potts, Matthew Rush, and Clive Allen. And the front row from left to right, you've got Kevin Keane, Mark Robson, Dean Martin, Julian Dix, Ian Bishop, Peter Butler, and Matthew Holmes.
Who's Dean Martin? Oh yeah, we spoke about Dean Martin last season.
Dean Martin, he played in McAvenny's last game, and he was there obviously for the photograph. But I think he left fairly shortly.
I don't think Simon Clark did anything, did he? Clark?
No, not for us.
I don't think so.
Do you know one player who I noticed who he didn't play for us that season as well, but he was in the reserves? Was Matt Holland? He never played for us, but he was in the squad. And another player as well. I once saw him
play for West Ham, believe it or not. I once saw him play for. Yeah, it was a game at Welling United, Parkview Road, and they played. I think it was Charlton. I think the game it was badged up as West Ham Legends or something like that, or it was a West Ham 11 of some description against Charlton, and Matt Holland played in that game, and I remember he scored a cracking goal.
Do you know what Matt Holland is famous for?
We lost.
Yeah. Matt Holland was a model in all the Hammer Shop magazines, like when you want to buy a kit. He was a model in there.
Was he?
Yeah. That's the only claim to fame he's got, yeah.
I always remember... Oh, sorry, Jez.
That story's similar to like Jimmy Bullard. He was at West Ham, but I don't think he ever played, or he played a game or half a game.
Britain never did a...
middle brother's best mate.
Oh, well, Jimmy Bullard.
They went to school. They went to primary school together in Bexley Heath.
I met him after an Upton Park West Ham win at the Queen Vic pub. I had a couple of photos, a few laughs with him. Yeah, he's a nice lad. Yeah,
he cracks me up on soccer. He cracks me up on
mad as a box of frogs.
Oh yeah, on soccer, he's crazy.
Especially when I West Ham fans on there.
8 years of age, and he had this big sort of mop of blonde hair. He was nuts then. He's never changed.
He took Fulham and Hull to the cleaners with his transfer fees and wages, mate.
Do you remember? Do you know what cracks me up? That celebration, what he done when Hull scored at Man City, when he told everyone. Yeah,
he's a very good golfer, isn't he?
Goal scorers.
Very good at golf, isn't he? He's a very good golfer, apparently. Very good at golf.
Apparently so.
A bit like
Apparently
Dixie.
So.
Yeah.
Another player, sorry, who springs to mind. I think he may have been a little bit later. Was Britain, who played for Swansea. He never got
Leon Britton. Yeah. I mean, Ray Houghton's another one. Everyone, Ray Houghton's another one. He didn't quite get in the team, not even an appearance or one. Another one is Alan Kirbush. He's a bit different, but listening to his podcast, he admits he made a big mistake because he said he was young, had a bad, I wouldn't say temper, but just didn't have any patience with John Lyle in terms of breaking into the team. And he regrets that big time. We got good money for him in return, but obviously he missed out on all the 80, 81, 85, 86, all those kind of times, really. Yeah,
what could have been sliding doors moment.
Yeah, you're going to get a few of those, aren't you? Yeah.
Sorry, another player who was a close second for me for my Hammer of the Year was actually Tim Breaker. He was my second. He was my second choice. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves either.
No,
do you know what? Because I think Russ has mentioned it a few times that he's one of these players that is a 6, 7 out of 10 every week. Nothing spectacular, nothing drastically bad, just always in the middle, and always goes under the radar. But yeah,
Same as Sufal, really. Now, really,
same as Sufal. Although for me, Sufal should be Hammer of the Year in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because of the adjustment in the new country lockdown, that's even worse. Can you imagine that you can't even go out and talk to anyone, and it's like nothing phases him. You don't give a anything about anything. Don't give a crap about anything. Yeah.
Guy's indestructible, I think. But that's your top goal scorers. So in the league, Trevor Morley hit 20, and in all competitions he got 22. We then move on to the next nugget of information, our attendances. So our highest home league attendance was the last match against Cambridge, 27,399. Our lowest league attendance was 10,326 against Sunderland. But we did, as I say, there was a game that we played in the Anglo-Italian Cup that I was at. We played Reggiana and when it was 6,000, but this is league attendances. And our average for the league at home was 16,001. As for our cup exploits, who remembers these beauties? In the FA Cup, we went out in the 4th round at Barnsley, 4-1.
Barnsley.
Not good.
I think they've done this in 89 as well.
Yeah, and then in the League Cup, went out in the 2nd round to Crewe. 2-0 on aggregate.
Sorry, Gatesy. Gatesy. When it said 0-0 in the end, I thought that said 8-0.
No, not quite. And then in the Anglo-Italian Cup, because they had 2 group stages, they had a first group stage, which was, I think, 3 English teams played each other in a round-robin format. And then if you got through that, which we did, you then played against Italian teams as well. And we went out in the 2nd group stage, as I say. That was where I watched us play a team called Reggiana, and wasn't a particularly great competition to be part of, but it was a trophy we could have potentially won. I mean, and as for who actually won,
Sorry, go ahead,
and the actual winners of the Hammer of the Year winner was Steve Potts. And the runner-up was the guy that I think should have won it, in my opinion, Kevin King. So.
We didn't get any of them right, did we?
Listen, it's all a matter of opinion, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
I reckon now, like you said, even on this season, if you ask 12 West Ham, I'm just saying 12, you'd probably could get 4 or 5 Hammer of the Years, like you said. It's a matter of opinions, isn't it? So,
I mean, going back to Italian clubs, I mean. My son is a huge Lazio fan, and I've kind of followed that way as well. So we follow them quite a lot, and just crapped over the line last night with a 95th minute winner. Immobile, I think. I don't know how to pronounce it, but he's a great striker for them. So, But what I found being in Rome was if you mention Lazio, they look at you like you got 2 horns out of your head. I got a feeling. I'm not sure Lazio. They're pretty. I don't know. I wouldn't say they're unfashionable, but I don't. There's obviously a certain side to them. We know about that. So when you mention you follow Lazio, they kind of, and I found a few fans, like Juve fans in bloody Rome, like you lot, at least support the team in your own bloody area, like Roma or someone like that. But Lazio are up there, mate, in the top 6, 7 every year, and perhaps if we qualify for Europe, they do as well. You never know. Yeah.
Imagine that. And Lazio, West Ham, Europa League.
Party, mate.
I'm just going to answer Tom's question here. The Morley stat. Now, the last player to get 20 league goals in a season was Teddy Sheringham. 2004-2005.
Who scored, Miles?
Salah. Clean through.
I got him in a fancy. That's fine. Salah scores.
Yeah. So Sheringham got 20. Sheringham got 20 league goals in 04-05, but that was in the second tier. Little useless piece of information, but quite a sad indictment. The last player to score 20-plus league goals in a top flight season for West Ham was Tony
Mr.
Cottee in 86-87.
That's so bad. That's so
That
bad.
is a bad,
so
bad stat.
okay, so the Hearts on 24 is in all competitions. Okay, not league.
Yeah, that was all competitions. Yeah.
I swear you used to take penalties
Last-
now and again, Hartson, perhaps.
Lampard,
No,
wasn't it?
Hartson,
Lampard, really.
Okay.
Well,
Lampard.
when
No.
Hartson first rocked up, Dixie would have been taking them as well.
I'm thinking more 97, 98, but yeah, I know what you mean, Gatesy. Yeah, sorry, I didn't think about that one.
97, we got off to
Yeah.
fly. I was in Canada then. I remember that we were in the top 3-4 after we nearly beat Man United at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
If you remember, just gave
I
them
was
such
there.
Oh,
I was there for
Was
that
you?
game. I was there.
Oh,
yeah.
we gave them a good game.
Because
didn't we,
that was
Gatesy?
around the time that Beckham first started going out with Posh Spice.
Oh, you're
And
right.
we were
you're
singing
right.
some pretty nasty songs about her. I remember.
We gave them a good
It
game.
was actually
didn't
the
we?
first team to score against them in the league. We
Are you
when
gonna
Johnny
Are
Hartson
you gonna
put
be
us 1-0
chanting
up.
when you do your commentary? Are you going to be saying you can hear the West Ham fan chant singing?
Maybe I might broach the subject. You never know. You never know.
But the one thing what I want to add, gents, even without Duke here, we've been going for 2 hours 5 minutes. I'm impressed. It's been a great show again, but it's great.
We've done well to cover our good friends. So I think we were up for the challenge, and I think it's been a good show. Yeah, we've done well. I think.
Yeah,
and I've
we
really enjoyed it.
Hope he's ready for tomorrow's pre-match, because otherwise it could be a short show. I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure.
But
Gatesy,
Gatesy, the thing is that last time I had a teeth removed, they give you this really strong sort of painkiller, and it's so strong. I remember when I did it, and I went to pay, and I couldn't talk because your bottom lip is just there's no movement in it. You can't.
That's what he said.
And I'm like, ooh.
So I said, that's what, Gatesy, what did I say in the voice note to him this thing? I said, you're going to be like Delboy. Do you know when he goes to the dentist? I'll just shit here, shall I?
Crazy. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, that's the end of the broadcast as far as the season review is concerned. But there's just one thing left. My usual shout out to young Isla Caton, and for those of you that don't know, those of you that do know what's coming, and those of you that don't, stick around because you might learn something. So this is a young 6-year-old girl. She is fighting for her life. She has neuroblastoma. This is a cancer that is really aggressive, really rare, tends to afflict children in the main. And there ain't no treatment for this in the NHS. So in the middle of the global pandemic that we're all in the middle of, they've got to take their daughter to wherever around the world that's going to get the treatment to save her life, hopefully, fingers crossed. So they got to pay for the treatment, the flights, the accommodation, living costs. The bills in the UK are still piling up. So this family, if ever there's a family that needs help right now, this is it. So there you've got a PayPal and you've got a Just Giving page. It's on the description below the video, so you can copy and paste it all to your social media platforms and get the message out there, keep the momentum going. And if you could see your way clear to putting a couple of quid in either of those two, either the PayPal or the Just Giving, not just us at Falls from Iron, but the wider West Ham YouTube community, we're all as one behind this particular campaign. Clock's ticking, guys, and I'm sorry to say it, and but this I have to focus your minds. This little girl is dying. No ifs, no buts. If she doesn't get the treatment, then she's not going to be around for too much longer. So we've got to come together. We've got to get this treatment, because this little girl shouldn't be going through this. Yeah, she should be, her whole life should be opened up in front of her. GCSEs, university, meeting the love of your life, children, all that. That should be her future. Her future right now is day to day. It's tomorrow. Then the next day it's tomorrow. That's it. So, guys, help us to help this family. They're in desperate need. Let's all come together and help this little girl out. Thanks for listening. Guys, I'd like to thank you very much indeed for your attendance. Jazz, always a pleasure, my friend.
Yeah, no problem, mate. Pleasure. Thank you.
Milesy, likewise for yourself. Thanks for coming, my friend. Appreciate it.
Appreciate. No, thank you very much, mate. Like I said, I love
And
these
just-
shows, and
We need to book a slot for the pub, don't we? Let's
Look
catch
at
up
that.
soon, coming weeks, and let's get
Look
together.
at this.
Yeah.
Scott, I've gone right off you, mate.
Yeah, there you go.
4-2. They've been toilet all season, and then they rock up at Old Trafford, and oh God, honestly,
but
what do you do?
it is what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Listen, if we finished 6th, 7th, 8th, yes, we're going to be disappointed given where we were, but looking at the bigger picture, we'd have all taken that at the beginning of the season. Let's not muck about. So,
Absolutely.
it is what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Those of you that have been watching live. Oh, hang on. Just got another comment. What's this? We're still coming forth. Tom, listen, listen, I try and be optimistic, mate, but I think we need snookers now, don't we? We're getting to that sort of territory. But we'll see. All we can do is win our games and just see.
Points deduction they need.
You may very well say that. I could not possibly comment. Gentlemen, thanks for coming. Stay safe. Only one thing left to say, isn't there? Milesy, what do you want to say?
We are fucking massive.
Jazz?
Come on, you
Come on, you
irons.
irons.
Come on, you irons.
Take care, guys.
See you later. Bye.